Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Saturday afternoon restream. You are actually hearing things correct. My name is Dathis. I am not your restreamer today. That is my wonderful partner in crime, Oscar424, who's being paired with the trackings of Scarcer and Softnum, and I'm joined in the booth by someone who I spend a lot of time listening to, but not as much talking with, the wonderful Sheep Launcher. How you doing today, Sheep?
Oh, I'm doing great, Dathis. I can't wait to see this semifinal matchup. We have one for all the marbles here. If Kryl and Kyrios both win, New Moon takes it. If either Vatasia or Nightdew win their matchups, then Bold Strategy moves on to the finals.
Yeah, normally we like to try and keep a 24-hour embargo on race spoilers because people want to go back and watch the VODs. However, with it being semifinals and this having placement shenanigans afoot, we kind of have to go and bypass that because we have all of New Moon and Bold Strategy racing the exact same day. So it's just kind of a little bit of a different vibe about it. But the vibe is here, instead of the Potion Party flag that we had earlier today, this is our Moonveil Mixer round. So we are back to the typical Cave Magnus, have Cocoa Forge, defeat Fabul Gauntlet, find Golbez, and then we have our random three, which is the Baron Castle Basement Throne, so the Odin spot, Vanilla Ribbon Room, and the Sand Ruby. So we're looking for a fair few key items today.
Yeah, our runners have to do 6 of those objectives in order to get the crystal in order to defeat Zeromus. So although we don't have the Potion Party flags today, we have the Moonveil Mixer flags for this matchup. That means we get to see our favorite big boss at the end and see what he's dressed up as.
Absolutely. I do like the idea of Potion Party changing up the fact that we don't have to worry about Zeromus, but there is other shenanigans afoot in that aspect. But always great to see the cosplays that we have for Zeromus. And again, it's just the different ways the different flags work very well with our runners. Speaking of, we're going to be getting along here. The big thing is we have a Palom start. Probably one of everybody's favorite black mages to find in the seed, not really to start with as your main.
Yeah, he's going to need a little bit of work in order to get up to levels, and his agility scaling late isn't the greatest, but it is nice to have a confirmed Quake Kid however you can get him.
Yeah, and with that, it looks like our runners are off. We're going to see the pairing, which is Palom paired with Sid. So you got your bucket of HP to go with, slow start, with a Mylon of some kind. And I say slow start, but we have ourselves an Artie Bow, not a key item. But that Sid is, you get him even like some mid-tier arrows. That is an overworld carry right there.
Yeah, Sid will be able to take down just about anybody on the overworld. Once Palom does the Hobbs check, he'll get enough levels to get his level 2 spells, and that's your overworld basically taken care of. But we're glad to have you with us.
Absolutely. And if we have any other character who's even got a little bit more speed, like say we find a Yang and some Cat Claws, we find an Edge, or we find one of our hidden Cecils, which are behind the different key item checks, that's going to be good to bring Palom's speed up to par and not to parity. This is exactly what we're looking for. But we have everybody going into all corners of the world. We have Kirill going to look at our first character check. We've got Kyrios going and doing Troya shops. We have Vatasia finding some goodies in Baron, and Nightdew is checking out Mist and seeing what we have in the Lonely Town.
Apparently, Sid started with poison arrows, and Palom started with mute arrows. So that Artie Bow has some good arrows to pair with it just from the starting arrows. Never mind what's going to be available in shops.
And speaking of what we have available, we have Rosa hidden behind dolls. We don't know what other fight could be there. Not bad to find, and you love to see an archer. But what you love even more is, I was talking about that Edge, you have your overworld power here. You find him anything, like say that Cat Claw that Vatasia found. You get him a little bit more speed, a little bit more power, and he is going to be able to just tear through this seed. It is a great power start.
And while we have a moment, do want to thank our trackers today, Scarcerer and Softnum, as Kryl gets the first boss checked off to pick up that edge, defeating Karate Man on top of Hobbs. This is actually a pretty good watery pass for Fantasia. Not only a Cat Claw, also a black belt. And I believe Fantasia also picked up a Curse Ring, which is just available in the pot outside of Baron Inn. Always great to have one of those available.
Yeah, this seed is giving you power for some of the characters that you're going to really enjoy giving it for. Going to give you your speed in the black belt again. Throw those on our boy Edge here, and he's going to be able to be set into a good position. Sid, give him that arty bow, and yeah, he'll do the damage we see there from Kyrio's screen, a 700 shot. You'll love to see it. Ooh, and Ice Claws for sale that we see, which, yeah, that's what you like.
And Dwarf Axes for sale as well. We already have one of those. Don't need it.
Yeah, the really nice thing is starting with the Dwarf Kit, there is the ability to have the back row for Kane, for Cecil, so there's that lovely bonus there, or for Sid himself. The other nice thing that comes with those is all those rune rings, which is just really great to find for characters who can make use of it and have help with the ability to nullify the mage enemies, essentially.
Yeah, and you start off with 10 in this pot, so you can sell a bunch of them, get money, because you don't have 10 characters you can equip them with. And Kryl is going to defend Fabul here, which is quite noble of him. And Kyrios right behind, so similar strategies early on from the two new Moon players.
Yeah, it's very interesting coming from the way a lot of other runners have been doing these seeds. Usually you leave Fabul for kind of later on. You want to kind of run around, do everywhere else, try and double dip Fabul as much as possible. The nice thing is, it's just our boy Rubicante. We got our full dose of leg today. Quick Ice 2, and he is not long for the world. And that is half of Forge, though, so that's possibly required, but also a nice find. But Night Dew is going to show us yet another key item check here in Antlion Cave.
Yeah, there must have been a paladin who passed through Fabul once a long time ago, left that legend sword behind, which is quite convenient for Kryl and Kyrios, as it's half of the requirement to forge. CPU, the Antlion Cave is the server room apparently today, and so Night Dew will dispatch of this very quickly.
Yeah, one arrow, one flame, and this is just showing the AoE power that you have behind this edge, even with no real magic boosting gear. Not a key item, but Zeus Gauntlet going to benefit either Sid or Edge very, very much.
Yes, a great piece of offensive equipment there.
And with the amount of boss hunts that we have available, I still foresee the fact of honestly, a Mount Ordeals check is not the worst in the world. Again, 3 boss checks we're really looking for. Obviously, Golbez and Full Gauntlet, but still Demist out hiding, maybe finding our underground access or leading to any one of other objectives. So it's, again, the world is as close as it is right now. It's still fairly open where some shenanigans can be hidden.
Vampires and life potions found by Kyrios. I believe this is in Silvera. No, I'm sorry, it's in Baron. And Kyrios picks up his cursed ring as well. Definitely worth checking the pot for that.
Absolutely, and Night Dew buying 50 of the charm arrows, probably one of the better of the viable mid-tier arrows you can find. Great against giants of any kind, so can get rid of those, either giants in the tower, giants in the Mad Ogre chest essence. Those places are where it's good. Kyrios, though, gets a firebomb, and we have AoE on AoE here.
Yeah, dolls in front, hiding dark imps in the back. The Baron Inn must be hosting some kind of event for all these folks. But like the dolls, these imps, or like some of the dolls anyway, these imps are susceptible to status effects, but they pack a punch.
Yeah, this is not where you want to be in the front row whatsoever. Yeah, we can see even Palom in the back are taking 250 damage. Although the charm getting off on these imps, very helpful for Sid. Just pew pew in his way through. That Artemis bow, again, not a key item, but doing massive work.
Oh, and that is required as well. That is a twin heart. And a Rosa, so a lot of really powerful early game characters here available right away.
Yeah, Baron in fairly stacked. You're a big fan of getting your healer as early as possible, so you can get the ability to get your cures online. But until you really need her to heal, she is your best bet of an archer. Honestly, for most of this seed, just throw that arty bow on her, give her some arrows, and go. If you find something better for Sid, or anything else really, because you can just let Rosa sit for the most part.
And both Vitasia and Kryl up on the top of your screen, taking your advice at this and going for Mount Ordeals. The first check here, Antlion, not in his usual place on the moon. And this is actually one of the best places in the game to find Antlion.
Yeah, you want him early. You want him where he can't be scary with both physical and magical attack, because he is that one of those hybrid bosses which can be scary in different spots. But what is not scary is these guards here, because we continue to have the Be No Free boss flag that is gone. So these are susceptible to being coffined, susceptible to being stoned, anything like that. We don't have those spells, but it's the fact that the free bosses are in fact free again.
These bosses are kind of annoying until you can inflict those status effects on them, because they do cast small, they cast Piggy, I believe. Just real annoying to deal with until you can get them stoned.
Yeah, the counter spells that they have, this is where you want to throw maybe a mute bell if you really just want to get it done and not worry about, so that you can just forego any of the counters. But with them both being smalled, you can't be smalled and piggied at the same time unless it's through bad breath. So once you have one, you can't have the other. And you're okay with Palom being knocked down, because there's really not much he can do about it. He's still going to get XP, so...
And now this is the danger zone really for that edge on Vitasia's side. Small in the front row. If he doesn't get resized quickly, he's not long for this world.
However, I do want to point out, 9 times out of 10, while you are minied, you are only ever doing 1 damage. Did you see the 18 that came out with Sid from those mute arrows?
Yeah, they really hit a mage weakness, because these guards are mages.
Question from chat: does bad breath bypass ailment priority? Yes, it does, because it just applies the ailments. It's not like it does 1 and then 1 and then 1 and then 1. It's why you saw that you had mini, but that Piggy didn't land. Whereas these spells, this is a mid-tier magic level spot, so spells should be landing with fair ease at this point.
And Kyrios got through the fight much more quickly than either Vitasia or Kryl. They'll all enter the changing room at about the same time.
Yeah, it's nice getting all of our runners kind of converging. As much as we love our divergence, so we can see a lot of checks at once, so that up here in the booth, we get our knowledge ahead of time. And hey, so this also, speaking of knowledge, this lets us know who gave us our starting key item. Mylon and friends here in the room. So unfortunately, that does mean that it is French vanilla, and we have Mylon Zed, who is currently chilling in the Beigen spot.
If you're cold, they're cold. Bring Mylon and friends inside.
Yeah, with both Fire 2 and Virus, there is nothing that these fights can do, or these enemies can do, even with the lower HP regardless. This is not a scary fight for this hero.
No, and all 3 Paloms getting through this fight quickly. We have Mylon complaining about his body. He's getting old, I suppose, like all of us. and all of them are through, but all three get the Earth Crystal. Really interesting key item, and that means that Curios, at least, can chain together the Twin Harp and Earth Crystal check if he really wants to. A real big win for efficiency.
Absolutely. And speaking of efficiency, Night Dude does take that Artemis bow off of Sid, lowers his power by giving him an Earth Hammer, which is very solid. However, something I didn't notice he'd picked up, he has a Heroine Robe to pair with it. So this Rosa going fast and going to be shooting very, very hard. Like, this is almost edge level of damage right now.
Yeah, that Rosa is loaded for bear. And Night Dew heading into Eblan Castle may fancy his chances of taking these trap chests now.
Yeah, I think you're coming in here right now with the unknown Cecil buried somewhere. You're kind of hoping for a little Hanzo steal, maybe getting something to bring Edge up to par, because right now the best thing we have for him is a Silver Dagger and a oh hey, there's a long we have a long sword and a cat claw. Those are his best weapons right now. But yeah, you're kind of hoping to build the ninja, really.
And going to find the Black Cat Lamia fight first. Probably not the fight you want to see first, but does have enough firepower, should be confident in handling it. Although Sid did get blustered. Goodness.
And then Palom gets knocked out. Yeah, this is a scary fight if you're not fully prepared. But yeah, Rosa and Edge doing just enough damage. One of my favorite things that a lot of people like to talk about when it comes to Eblan Castle is the amount of experience you get here. And I agree, this is a great spot to front load and just push some experience into your fighters. However, what a lot of people don't think about is these, because you just want to kill them as quickly as possible. Nice Moon Veil for some punchy bosses later. The Black Cats actually give XP that is comparable to the Mad Ogres, so they're just as efficient as lifing up and getting that life glitch on as the Mad Ogres, if not slightly better. I think by like 400, 40 or 50 experience.
Trial's giving us a treasury check.
Ooh, I am here for this.
Assassin Dagger for that Edge.
Build a summoner, really, because we see Leviathan, we see Sylph, we see some Sorcerer Robes, another Cat Claw.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we find Iridia, that's going to push it to probably closer to about a 7 or an 8. Right now, it's kind of money at a 10.
Yeah, it's not bad for a max tier 5 treasury. The 2 Bacchus wines were nice as well, but it's really beneficial for the character we don't have.
Yeah, and speaking of what we don't have, I did not see what boss was hiding in the waterfall, so that is information that Curios has that I don't right now. One of our trackers, Softum's saying Bygans, so that does mean that it's a relatively scary boss in some spots, but not in a lot of them.
And Night Dew found an adamant armor from the Mad Ogres.
Well,
huge.
And that's why you spike those treasure chests.
Yes. Yes, the Mad Ogre's certainly hiding the goods today. Curios, meanwhile, also checking out the Mist Cave, finding Water Hag. We're running out of free bosses here.
However, that does mean if we see a blue robe in any spot in the overworld that is only one single sprite, we know that that is going to be our alt gauntlet. So that does take a little bit of mystery, and it does give Curios some great information for later.
Curios also picking up a bandana for that ninja as well.
Some great items here. Again, with max tier 5 as your lootables, you're not going to be finding a lot of the good stuff. But yeah, every runner is just looking and saying, hey, I want this treasury. We have Earth Crystal. Make the best out of the money that it can give you, because even if it's only tier 5, some of that stuff sells very well. Like the summon orbs, if you're not going to be using them, that is great money early on.
Yeah, the samurai armor too is just money in the bank. And Kryl going to pet a dog on his way up. Vitasia doing the same. Sometimes he can spike a really nice... Petting the dog is worth it. You can pet the dog in Final Fantasy IV and get a crystal sword.
Gonna confirm Cecil is not gonna be in this tower because there's no way that the wonderful Asuka, our fantastic restreamer, would ever put a Crystal Sword Cecil in the exact same area. Nope, never.
Yeah, this is a generous seed so far. It will be interesting to see how our runners kind of take that information and leverage it later on when they're trying to just gain that advantage. As a reminder, both Kryl and Curios need to win to get New Moon to the finals. If Vitasia beats Kryl or if Night Dew beats Curios, it is bold strategy that cottons their way to the final round.
Yeah, and one of the I saw what you did there, by the way. And one of the things that I like of Night Dew doing is a lot of people don't like, a lot of the runners feel like, okay, I don't think my physical power is enough, so I want to do the Earth Crystal check before doing music because music is going to be nothing but physical. But Night Dew, realizing what he has, also not having that Earth Crystal, says, you know what, we're just going to power through this music because doing your objectives is a very good thing to find. Also, I'm 100% here for the vanilla.
Yeah, Magus Sisters here. A nice scoop of vanilla. Yeah, Night Dew making an early harp check. And we haven't found underground access yet, so it's entirely possible. In fact, it's more than possible. It's mandatory now that either the Twin Harp or the Earth Crystal does lead to that underground access, which could be either the Magna Key or the Hook. But Night Dew going to show us, give us the first look at and first listen at the randomized harp. Play us a song, you spoony bird.
Almost as many songs as there are Z sprites, and that is a scary thought. And that is some music that I personally do not recognize. Great song. But what we do have is the other half of our forge. So that is an objective leading into an objective. But the other nice thing is we have a Vanilla Cane guarding a Yang, hiding a Plague. So there is all sorts of funness going on across everywhere. Also, we are going to do our best to get Vitasia's stream back up as soon as we can.
Yeah, but that does mean that, all you Fade Harpers can go pound sand because Harp is super required. You need it to fulfill one objective, and it leads to another objective as well. So so every runner will have to visit Cave Magnus at some point. But Kryl and Curios are finishing up their Earth Crystal check. We'll see what the key item is here. It's either got to be Hook or Magma Key or something that leads to it.
Yeah, either we're about to see some chain going on in here, or again, like you said, just straight into it. And thank you to one of our wonderful bards themselves, Xenocat, letting us know that that was Awakening from Xenogears. I figured it sounded familiar, and again, fantastic work as always. We know that that is most likely one of your compositions. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that Xenocat has done something from Xenogears.
Yeah, it's a hunch. Kryl took a wipe on that plague. We'll give it another try. Luckily, Kryl did do that safety save after the Magus Sisters, so a very good save there. But we'll re-get his Kane and Yang, and discovering also that Kainatsu is the second boss in Dwarf Castle. Really good spot to find that particular boss. Only 3,000 HP there, so his waves will not be scary in the Dwarf Castle at all.
Absolutely. And what we have here is Plague going down after a couple more hits on Kyrios' side. Again, a boss that if you're not full ready, it can be very scary. The quick count timer on certain heroes, just you look and go, oh, that's not as friendly as you thought it was going to be. However, Kyrios gets through it fairly well. And he's going to give us the first look of a key at him, while Nightdew is climbing up a mountain and going to be sending Palm to a changing room.
Yep, and going to be throwing some guards off the edge. Maybe they're just doing a really big suplex into a folding table at the bottom. But Kryl appears to be better set up here for this plague.
Yeah, when you know it's coming, you're kind of like, okay, no, now we got to take care of it, go like this, and everything's to be fine. And again, just blasts right through that. If a quick couple of viruses and some arrows, and it is not long for the world.
And Kyrios did pick up the magma key. And before he heads underground, he is going to make that harp check.
Very good call. Lets you finish off some stuff in the overworld, and additionally, that is going to allow him, when he gets underground, to get one of our 2 weapons for Palom that he can just do more damage with.
And that's our second dose of vanilla in this seed so far.
Third, Magus Sisters were vanilla.
Oh, and Kane was
Absolutely.
Yep. Kane betrayed me by not
your
coming to
eyes
my
betrayed
mind.
Yourself, sir. I will not stand for this Kane slander in this restream.
Okay, are you sitting down?
You are correct. I am sitting for it, though.
Kryl picks up his curse ring, so I believe we've seen everybody on Restream pick up that curse ring. I don't remember if Nightdew has, but so we'll see if that comes into play later. And Kyrios going to do the kamikaze strat to try and end this fight before Dark Elf goes into his script, and he will do that. A very nice skip there. And we will have our second dose of the lovely Awakening from Xenogears. Was Night Dude thinking of leaving the crystal sword behind?
You know what? Hey, I've seen crazier things.
Well, Kryl betrayed Kane, picking Rosa over him, and is now dropping the key into the Aggregate Well. Will be the first of our on-stream runners to go underground.
Yeah, and Kyrios with his adamant in hand as well means that we do have multiple runners being able to finish multiple objectives once they hit underground. So we're going to get a look and see what exactly we have from this Palom. And Kyrios says, you know what? I don't have the adamant, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right over here and going to be checking and seeing what kind of goodies we have. I'm okay. I like this. Again, great items that are in Dwarf. Some more Star Veils for the still outstanding Golbez and Wyvern that we have, so you're not afraid of those.
Another nice thing about having the ability to forge so early is that you can check Kokol's shop, which in this flag set will contain some pretty nice stuff. And so you know, even if you can't afford it right away, you know what you're saving your pennies for.
Absolutely. And finding a ninja sword, that is very, very big. So it's exactly what you want to see to get this edge. Again, that little bit more power, because he's going to be your end game carry right now. Sid can kind of do it with his Artemis bow, and if you want to throw the adamant armor, if the other runners find it, which I almost guarantee they will, because everyone loves to do a dip into Eblan Castle.
And especially today, it'll be worth it with the Mad Ogres having that adamant armor.
Oh yeah, again, it's with the amount of just the amount of goodies, and with the fact that we do have the possibility of even finding adamants in these seeds, it's always nice to get a good look and check all the trap chests you possibly can, because you want to just make sure you get all the power that you possibly can, and you don't want to be the one who misses out on one of the adamants.
Ooh, Kryl experiencing one of the trollier
NPCs, please.
Like, hello, can I get some service over here? Kryl, you gotta bring a bell. Gotta ring that bell.
Hold on, let me just come out from the back and I'll get some items there. Don't worry. Yeah, in my headcanon, the dwarves have the that kind of accent. The Tomra ones, anyways.
And Kryl now heading into the Land of Summon Monsters. We'll pick up the key item here. Always good to see who the King Queen are. Could get lucky and potentially have a couple of bosses you can defeat right away. Although we're running out of free bosses and don't really have the party to cheese any bosses right now. Does get an Excalibur, which will be very nice when accessible. Yeah.
We have a crystal sword. This is just a very nice dart. Ooh, Hourglass 2s, though.
Very nice. Kryl doesn't have that crystal sword yet. Or no, he does. Sorry. He pet the dog, yeah. So, just something nice to throw at somebody. Here, catch.
It's really interesting. There's a lot of throwing that we can do, but not a lot of people know how to catch in this game. It seems like they didn't really grow up doing that, which is a little unfortunate. Yeah, that's a big old bag of nope.
Yeah. Bahamut, potentially doable at a lower level. Evil Wall is just no thank you.
Big old bag of nope. Yeah, you kind of look at that and go, we'll talk to you later, or if I find an Edward.
Yes.
That is one of the very few spots that Edward can hide, and Evil Wall will be able to defeat itself just by punching air. You give Edward the adamant armor, put him in the top slot, have everyone else knocked down, and you just hide, and that'll be enough, really.
Kryl setting up the Fabul check. Night Dew completes his shenanigans and will take to the well with the Magma Key in hand.
Yeah, Kryl deciding, before I go and do the Sheila check that I have unlocked, I'm going to go and get myself my adamant that's behind music, because always make sure you do your objectives, do your freebies. Good little thing to remember. Also, Kyrios is going to be knocking off yet the first person to get a second objective done.
Yep, and we'll get the Triton.
Dagger, great for AoE because it casts Flood.
Very nice. One of the Palom exclusive. But anybody who and
yep. So, everybody out there watching, we apologize for that little bit of silence from comms. We were just given a heads up by our race streamer that, as you've seen, Vitasia had a full-on complete crash and meltdown, was unable to reload his seed, and Kryl, in great sport and spirit, has decided to accept a reroll and a re-race, because unfortunately Vitasia just could not get the seed up and going. You will see that it is going to be two completely different seeds that are going to be running, top versus bottom. Something of a first for our little tournament here, unfortunately. But yeah, so there is going to be a bit of a pause, a bit of a difference in time, and we're going to be here a little bit longer with Kryl and Vitasia's race versus Night Dew and Kyrios' side. First of all, again, big shoutouts and big GGs to Kryl for accepting this. He did not have to. Again, it was 100% his right to say, nope, I'm going to take this. I can take this win, and I'm just going to race it out. But in the spirit of competition, very, very big ups for him, no matter who wins, whether it's Vitasia or Kryl at this point.
Yeah, a very classy move in the semifinals. We might as well get some music from him before we go, right?
Absolutely will. All right, and while Kryle gets his last key item check that he's going to get in this specific seed, which is off his second objective that he can't possibly do, we're going to have a little bit of a time down here. Night Dude is getting through that first check that we have down here in Dwarf Castle. King Queen Eblan, nice and free. You'll love to see it. We're going to see the second boss that is this... this Kainazo. The question is this going to be our Cecil that we have a crystal sword for? And it is! Boy himself. Yeah. But just as another little update that we had, unfortunately, when we do go to change the Kryle Invitasia race over, we will not have their objectives tracked, quote, properly, so they will not be on screen. I'm going to keep a little note for myself which ones they are, and I'm going to hopefully we're going to keep it a little updated for you guys of who has what we're still missing, and what we're still looking for. But again, so yeah, the numbers will still be accurate, just you won't see what they really are. So we'll have to do our best to remember. This is going to be a bit of a head scratcher for me because I've never commentated 2 separate races before.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. For now we're going to concentrate on the bottom race while they get set up. But Kyrios is about to get his paladin as well. Dancing Queen Eblan, nice and free in the Dwarf Castle. And we'll get through that Kainatsu as well.
Just a quick recap for people who may have missed it. Unfortunately, Vitasia just had a complete crash of his emulator as well as of his stream. So that's why we completely lost his feed. He's been able to get everything up and retooled recently. So it's more than just internet issues. It's internet and his ROM would not reload the seed proper.
And so Night Dude does get a second second Artemis bow, I should say, and a piece of Hanzo steel. Real nice stuff. And that Cecil is worth the price of admission as well.
Yeah, so we have ourselves the wonderful that is the Crystal Sword Cecil with an adamant armor. We've got Rosa and Sid that could be doing damage, but I've just realized that Night Dew has said goodbye to Sid and is instead keeping up with what we have. Again, great team here. This is a good set of hybrid characters to basically run the rest of the seed with.
And so Night Dew and Kyrios really close now. Although Kyrios does have Forge done, Night Dew has access to it. Just has to go do it.
Yeah, this is just a couple of checks back and forth done between the different racers. It is a lot closer than what it looks, and that is going to be kind of the big thing.
And so while Night Dew is shopping in Tamra, by the way, the job dwarf in Tamra, we discovered a nursery worker. And so now I'm wondering if that's a dwarf for plants or a dwarf for children.
It could be both. It could be a nursery of children who are also helping plants grow.
Yeah. And so we will have Vitasia and Kryle's new seed up as soon as it starts with the delay. So we will be seeing this, I guess the test pattern, it's a little appropriate for Pride, I guess.
Yeah, so we're going to get that taken care of. But yeah, great for Pride, as we see. But as we see here for more Pride, Kyrios is picking up his Excalibur. Night Dew also doing a bit of a checkout and buying some of these hourglasses. The real question is where we go from here, because neither of those fights are what you're going to want to take, but they're kind of your only progression right now.
Yeah.
That or with access to Sheila 1, you have Evil Wall, which doable with the doable with the Moonveil and the Adam. I just realized this.
Yeah, that Moonveil, both the Moonveil and the Adamant armor were picked up in Eblan Castle. So Night Dew has what he needs, and he splashed the cash to stay at the Fey Marriott, so he is ready.
Absolutely. And again, The Bahamut is not scary. It's a lot of HP, and it is a bit of a DPS race if you don't want to use any of your Star Veils. It will take a little bit to get that going, which, again, not that big of a deal. You're just going to be kind of chucking damage out here, as we see, honestly, a great use of the X-Cal. Because you just want to get through some of these fights as quick as possible. And when you have the lack of power that you have at this point in the game, this is where it's like, you know what? Get the kitchen sink out of here. Zeromus is not going to be a problem when I have a Crystal Sword, X-Cal, Cecil, and a Rosa. That's all you need. Absolutely.
So, yeah, as you said, a great place to fling that X-Cal, turn Bahamut into a pin cushion, because once that Mega Nuke goes off, it's going to be too late.
Yeah, this is where this is a fight where it is, you're okay with pushing through and having it take a little bit less time just to get that power going. As we see there, it disappears, because with the Moon Veil that is picked up from the other trap chest, that evil wall is probably the least scary fight that you will ever find in this game. Like, even I'd rather fight King Queen Eblan. Sorry, I'd rather fight this evil wall than King Queen Eblan, but we're not gonna have to, possibly, because that's a darkness crystal.
Well, Night Dude says, I'm gonna challenge you. You're right here.
Yes.
And will Night Dew use the Moon Veil to let the wall come crumbling down? Might not even have to, because that evil wall's only doing 1 damage to Edge.
Yeah, so at that point, you definitely don't do that. You just kind of get a couple of blinks up, and yeah. So again, as we've mentioned, Vitasia and Curiel's stream are going to be for a few more minutes. I can get you an exact time in a second, but for another few minutes, you're not going to be getting any real visual from them, because of the simple fact of, again, 10-minute delay, get everything reset up, get everything retooled, but we will get them started. Their timers are also going to be off, unfortunately. That's just going to be the nature of the beast. But yeah, that also gets Curios his,
Yeah.
and this is, no, we're done.
Yeah, Kyrios gets his Darkness Crystal and says, adios to the Feymarch. Edge only had 1 HP, which is all you need.
You know what? 1 HP more than necessary when you're throwing up some Star Veils. And speaking of 1 HP, yeah, this Edge here is just not caring. He's just whatever, man. Just let's go.
Yeah. I've always wondered how precisely, and not just in this game, but in, like, other video games, how precisely you're supposed to knock down a wall by swinging a sword at it.
Look, you just chip at it piece by piece, okay? That's how it goes.
And suddenly, this wall will catch fire. If if Age of Empires 2 is to be believed.
And look, enough sparks, and then it'll definitely catch fire. And there goes Cecil finally. Edge was taking a majority of those hits. XP for Cecil. So unfortunate. Oh, that's just funny right there. Okay, so we do have it knocked down. Just a bomb.
For the Rydia, we don't have.
He could be on the moon. We don't know this.
Curio's gonna save outside of Mysidia and do that Sheila check. Make sure it's nothing he needs before he leaves the blue planet.
100% could double check that. Yeah, 100% agree with this, because if it's nothing, just quick reset up, then you're going and raising the big whale. Anyways, answer question in chat. We have Hallam, who is on our hero currently for the bottom half of this restream. The top half, we're going to find out what the hero is in a few minutes.
Yeah. Ooh, Curios finding that Sheila has the Luca key. That is only necessary because Curios has done the warp glitch to get the item out of the sealed cave. That's only going to be necessary if one of our 3 bosses that we're looking for is down there. And we haven't seen any of them yet. Golbez or the All Gauntlet or D-Mist.
Well, I was going to say, alternatively, if one boss is down there, it's not that big of a deal. However, there is a world where that is a D-Mist guarding your Baron key, or a package that has another boss.
Yeah,
there is a world, and I'm here for it.
In a world where Asuka trolls our runners to the greatest extent possible. D-Mist is lurking.
And just to get people caught back up to speed, for those who weren't here, again, we do apologize. Vitasia was having a little bit of issues getting his seed get back up after a crash. He was down for about an easy 10 minutes. So we did have Kryl get requested to do a reroll of their side of the race. So they are redoing it. So we are going to have them restart their race. So you're technically watching two different sets of two different races, as opposed to everybody running the same seed that you're used to. It's Nightdew and Kyrios are going to be running one seed, and Kyriel and Vitasia are going to be running another seed. So it will not be confusing at all, I promise. It'll be extremely confusing.
But the stakes are the same in that Kryl and Kyrios on Team New Moon both have to win to advance to the finals. If Nightdew defeats Kyrios, or if Vitasia wins, then it is Bold Strategy who goes to the finals. And both Nightdew and Kyrios discovering that Moon Wine, I should say, is on the menu.
So while we get a look at the characters, Sheep, I have a little bit of a brain question for you. While we have the Moon Radio I was talking about. Hey,
yeah.
I've got Leviathan, Bahamut, and Sylph for you. You might not be coming onto my team, but I've got the summons for you.
Yeah, you can go practice in the in the Tower of Wishes.
Exactly. So while we talk about that, while we have Night to go and check a character, so if we have, say, Kyrios win this part and put both New Moon and Bold Strategy at one apiece, how much of a nail biter is it then going to come down to, knowing that we have to watch for Kyriel and Vitasia, knowing that they'd be like half hour, 45 minutes behind in this? Like, how entertaining is that going to be if we get something like that?
It'll be so much fun, no matter what the result is on the bottom, to kind of see how Vitasia and Kryl kind of deal with this curveball that's been lobbed at them. But yeah, if you're a fan of big stakes, then that's going to be your ticket. And is that a Palom here, or
that is a
Porum here?
So we have the other twin on a twin cast. We have both twins. Asuka, you magnificent woman, you. That is shenanigans abound, and I'm here for it.
Launching the Falcon, trading away the Rat Tail, and conquering the Vanilla Ribbon Room. So at least the Ribbon Room is the same.
Yeah, we kept one of the three.
All right, this is certainly, Dathis, I believe you said this is going to be the first time you've commentated two races at the same time. It's the first for me, so we're going to get through it as best we can, and so we'll try and keep things straight, and we'll be relying on you and Chad as well to kind of let us know where we are, but this is going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And speaking of a lot of fun, that Crystal Sword Cecil just does not care about these these poor D-Lunars that were sitting at the Bahamut. That, oh my word. Well then,
yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a quick second. So that was D-Lunars taking the massive hits from that Crystal Sword Cecil, doing 8 times damage, quad 9s around, doesn't care about those counter spells and counter fires or anything, gets the cures up and going. Huge Sand Ruby behind that too. That is a big check for that cave Bahamut. That means that Nightdew, who gets a big lead here, but Dark Elf, we're sitting here at the Ribbon Room. That's something you're also really happy to see with the Crystal Sword Cecil.
Very much so. But yeah, that Sand Ruby, that's an objective. There's always value in Cave Bahamut. You hear it all the time. And so Kyrios now doesn't know it, but would be well served by taking on that Cave Bahamut. We'll see if he takes it on after the Lunar Subterrane.
Yeah, and I wonder if the Nightdew might just go complete top down, just say, you know what, we're going to fully clear this moon, just so you don't have to worry about that. Because it's not bad going just like straight to your objectives. It really, because it depends. If we had a Rat Tail, that hook would be a lot spicier than what it really is. But we could see it here. Like, there's so many gating key items still, so many bosses we're looking for. So it's just like, you kind of want to make sure you fully clear this entire spot, and I'm a big fan of top-down.
Kyrios did pick up the hook as well as the power shirt from that ribbon room, gets another objective as well, and Kyrios has now completed 3 of his required 6 objectives. Gonna go next door to the Vanilla White Spear altar, find Ashura here.
Indeed, and we may see a little bit of a lag on both starts from Vitasia and Carl. Trust me, they are both starting off at the exact same time. That, I believe, was a Darkness Crystal. We have Porum paired with Kane, and we have an Evil Wall handing that out. Also, big shoutouts to our wonderful Asuka having the timers both be accurate on both sides and still running. That is, again, just great work being done all around.
Yeah, there. And we want to give a big shout out not only to our restreamer Asuka, but to our trackers Scarcerer and Softnum for hanging in there and keeping things straight with them. And thank you to you, Dathis. This is new ground for me. Glad to be trotting it with you.
Of course, and absolutely, as mentioned in chat by Asuka, Scala Katie, one of our Elixir admins, also doing some great work behind it. This is just all sorts of shenanigans going on, and I'm excited to see what other goodies, because I see in chat Asuka saying we haven't gotten to the best part yet. What best part? I'm getting scared now.
Well, Kryl immediately gonna summon that big whale. Did not get to the Darkness Crystal in the original seed. Happy to have it now, and will immediately go to check who's on the moon and see what's up there.
Oh yeah, you want to get a look at that gated character right off the bat, because that's a big thing. But Kyrios does get through that check there, and we do have a spoon right there. So that is another great dart that we have access to, and exactly what you want to see. Hello, Duke Kane.
Yeah, Duke Kane guarded by Leviathan on Mount Hobbs here. For Vitasia.
Not scary, but you are going to really hope for a lot of spears going on.
And it's 1 Kane, 2 Kane, green Kane, red Kane on Vitasia's side.
Absolutely, and I do love the fact that if anything was ever going to happen with something like this, you were very happy to see that as a Talon and Porum as your starting characters on a twin cast. Like, you can't just get any better than that. But what is better is we have a second white mage. We have Rosa here, and on the top side for Carl, but we also have for Kyrios a very free boss. Those Hourglass is going to come in clutch, and we're going to just absolutely destroy whatever is here. While Night Dew has finished off Dr. Dialogue, does he get a key item for his troubles? I didn't quite see what it was, but...
It was a Bahamut Orb.
Another Bahamut Orb. Just all the goodies going on. Lots of money.
And Rydia is crying at the Tower of Wishes because she knows she could have helped. She could help.
The moon has everything I need. I just need the experience. It even has that.
Kryl doing some early looting of Cave Bahamut and picking up an Odin orb. Interesting summon. One of not really used all that much in Free Enterprise. Does have its uses though. If you can't find J items and encounter a boss that is susceptible to stop.
Oh, that is a blue robe though.
And Kryl not gonna check.
No save recently, so no, I agree with that.
Yeah, no. Kryl picked up too much good stuff here in Cave Bahamut to just go checking on that.
Yeah, this early on in the seed, getting any summon orb, you want to save that because that is good money. Kyrios, unfortunately, and I say this unfortunately because you'd love the experience, from the Masamune altar, only gets an apple, so not what you really hope to find, but some more experience and just that peace of mind that currently the only quote good item of here has been Sand Ruby. Remember that time when I talked about demons?
Yeah.
That is depending on what Kyrios finds here, because he's quote ahead in bosses, but we do have Night Dew who also did Cave Bahamut as well, so it's more even right now than you may think. So Kyrios is going to get us the look here, because depending on what is here at this Crystal Sword altar really dictates where they're going to have to go, and it is either going to be we know that can't be behind that evil wall because that's where Bahamut Orb was. Kyrios doesn't know that, and so it's either going to be here, or we're gonna have to go and run down that Luca cave.
You know, there's Keyless Tower too, which is the correct play 100% of the time. And the hook was found on the moon, which is interesting. Doesn't directly lead to anything, but there are 2 bosses down there.
That is also true. But again, we have found the one thing Crystal Sword is weak to. And by weak to, I put that in parentheses. A boss that just doesn't care about the holy elemental.
Yeah, and in fact, while some of the other early bosses are weak to the dark elemental to basically buff up Dark Knight Cecil in the original game, Octomam is the one that is both weak to the dark elemental and resistant to holy.
Yeah, have you ever cast holy on Octomam? It's not going to do very good for you. It's really entertaining when you, in your early game, you're like, oh, I've got Cane to the White Spear, I can handle anything. And then you cast it on Octomam and then you go, well, that ain't right.
But I don't think Night Dew did take down this Octomam, so skip the Crystal Sword altar on the way down.
Yeah, he decided he's just going to go right towards the middle section, which I kind of agree with. So again,
well,
Hook, Keyless Tower, or Luca Cave.
And Kyrios going to exit out. We'll see if he leaves Cape Bahamut behind here, but the moon turning into an orchard with how many apples it's giving out.
True. With the fact that we literally only spiked 1 key item in Kyrios' side, and the fact that he still has to do the other Bahamut Orb in the Mirasame altar, he's going to be full clearing this moon. I 100% agree with this, just so that once it's a one done and gone. Oh, actually, there are 2 other boss locations we completely forgot about. The Giant.
That's right.
And I very distinctly remember you and I having a race a couple a tournament ago where the Giant was 100% required. And in fact, I was going up and going, we're going to find Paladin right here. I remember it very clearly because I called the boss as we go up to it.
Yeah, and, you know, it took me 2.5 hours to get there. You were quite a bit faster, but the Giant could be hard required on the bottom side. Because it could contain both the Golbez and the Alt Gauntlet, neither of whom we've seen.
Or again, it could contain Golbez and Demas, who has a key item, which is, this is 100%. Again, there's so many different paths, even though it looks like it's very, very narrow right now. It's actually a lot wider than it looks because of the fact that we're still looking for 2 bosses. We're looking for 3 bosses. We're still looking for 1 key item, and one boss can get us into that key item location. It's just a lot. It looks like is going to be kind of dependent on how Keyless Tower is. If Keyless Tower does not pay out, then it is a straight boss hunt.
Up on the top side, hope you like White Mages and Dragoons, because that's all you're getting for now.
I'm 100% here for this. Hey, look, you've got your DPS, you got your healers. What else do you want? You want a tank? Yep. Get out of here with that.
Night Dew picks up his spoon.
Excited to see him yeet that sometime soon.
Mute daggers and mute arrows in the same shop in Fabul. A nice find for Vitasia. Now just needs to find some mages to match them with.
Yeah, and even then, Mute Knives will do very well for Kain right now. The really nice thing about Kain as a character is he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife in the sense of you can throw so many different weapons onto him. Aside from the fact that he can't use bows, you've got daggers, you've got swords, you've got his spears, you've got his axes. He is almost as diverse as Cecil is, which is one of the big benefits. His stats grow very well too. It's just not as well in certain aspects as what Cecil's specifically do. But we do get Kyrios through Dr. Dialogue, sees the reward of Bahamut Orb, says, "Nope, we're good. No, thank you." And yeah, I don't blame him for that. And we are going to go get a Cave Bahamut check, while Vatasia is going to be taking on an Antline fight in Fabul.
And I believe we've reached the best part, the what's to come that Asuka threatened us with. As I see a little jumping Porum hero up on the top end.
We do. That is a Porum that we have up top. I'm very much here for the Porum hero being just showing off. Again, I love the fact that we have Palom and Porum. Again, it's just really entertaining. Night Dew, speaking of entertaining, making good use of the Hourglass 2s. So it's J items are so big, and with them as potion parties, we didn't really see a lot of them because we couldn't buy a lot. And we do have Asuka saying, "Here we go," and there are. That is classy right there.
Yes.
So we have, as you see, launch the Falcon, trade away the Rat Tail, and conquer the Vanilla Ribbon Room. So we do have our objectives up top. Big shout outs to Asuka, and I assume Scala giving a little help in the back, but if not, still a fantastically well done layout for this. This is great.
Yeah, fantastic work on the fly to salvage a really important semifinal match, and again, big shout outs to Kryl for accepting a reroll when he didn't have to. Vatasia and Kryl running a separate seed, but same stakes. And we have a little mini kind of setup up at the top to help everybody keep things straight. Me, not least.
Oh, absolutely, because again, this is going to get a little confusing in the later half. But speaking of what's not confusing, Kyrios is through those poor dealers who were not prepared. It's like, "Hey guys, I'm going to be a boss fight, right?" And Cecil walks up with the crystal sword. "Omewa moshinderu." And I apologize because I know Skull is listening, and I'm really bad with my with Japanese. But what's not bad is Golbeza here at the top of ordeals for Vatasia and Kryl.
So, Kryl just got his Magma Key. Vatasia got his as well. With both a Magma Key and a Darkness Crystal, the entire world is open to both Vatasia and Kryl.
Yeah, this is a very quick seed looking in the making, which again, with the whole information you had from the previous seed still bouncing in your head, plus just like the mild panic, I'm excited to see how the runners handle this and how they go for it. And the real question is how soon does Kryl go up that Mount Ordeals, because that is a big thing for Vatasia. Unfortunately, the unbig thing is didn't quite get that timing right, and the cane drops down to his death, and it's just the white mage is left standing.
Kyrios using the Sand Ruby to accomplish his fourth objective. That is a Porum in the bed, and you know that sometimes it's hard to tell which twin is in the bed. Here it's easy. It's not Palom.
Exactly. Hey, we found a twin. Which one?
Well, the way you can tell in the bed, actually, is the ponytail is on the opposite side of the handedness they are. So, Palom is left-handed. His ponytail, when he's sleeping in the bed, is on the right.
You know, it wasn't until for Enterprise that I realized that. Also, just a note here: the first spot of Ordeals does not have that. Ordeals does not have that high of a magic, but he's still hitting himself for 500 damage a shot. That is nothing to scoff at this point.
And Kyrios making the play, gonna do Keyless Tower. And we know that this has got to lead to something.
Yeah, and Night Dew is hot on his heels. He's doing the same thing. You're gonna do your objective first. Knock them out as quick as you possibly can, because you want to make sure you don't have to think about that for later. Going, but I did this. Why don't I have this marked off? I've never done that before. No, never. Next question, please.
Wake up, sis. You're my new best friend. And Night Dew gonna send her to the Tower of Wishes as well.
Hey, look, Rydia and Porum can just play with those Bahamut orbs, and they can play marbles. It's all good.
Vitasia encountering Baron Guards on the backside of Ordeals. That seems familiar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I've seen this one before. Wait, no, I have about an hour ago. But that's some goodies here. We have Bacchus wines and life pots here in Tomra for Kryl and Vitasia. Those are going to be really good pickups. And yes, no, you do not see the glitch. It is not, in fact, Kyros' screen doubled over. This is, in fact, Night Dew doing the same thing and saying, yeah, Keyless Tower is the play.
Hailed him up at the top of tower. I did not see who was at the Ruby spot.
I also did not see, but we're going to get a second look when Night Dew does the checkup there. But yeah, this is a boss that is more annoying than it is difficult because it is a lot of HP. It is very, as it's casting, slow, and it's just a lot to tear through. Yoshi Kion in chat saying that's Golbez. The hook required to defeat the bot. I mean, you know where Golbez is, you can keep that in your pocket, sort of thing. Yeah. So, like, that's not bad. And with the rat tail, you gotta go check that real quick. Oh, well.
Go fetch.
So yeah, if the rat tail comes out to be a Baron key, then honestly, I think it's you take hook. You do that first, then you come back up to Baron, and then you go and do, then you go fight Zeromus, because that's going to be your last objectives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the pass hasn't been found yet, so as of right now, both runners will have to make the long walk to the moon, but going all the way down the hook route to do your last objective is a little bit of a pain in the neck. But if that's the way it's got to be, then that's the way it's got to be.
Yeah, there's really no two ways about it. But Vitasia does get through that ordeals. I kind of blanked on whichever boss was in there because I was so enthralled by what we had on the bottom half.
That was Kainatsu in the changing room, which is great to find.
Very good to find, a little scary. The only key item we do have, though, is and I said that not that bad, just a Luca key, because you kind of hope to find it later, but it does help towards your 10 key items necessary.
And so Kryl doing a lot of exploring here in the underworld, going to go down and see who is in the Fame Arch and what key item is down here in the treasure chest.
Yeah, and does find that trap chest for it. There's enough goodies that I do agree with relooting here, because that is a lot of money that you can get to, again, jumpstart, especially underground, where you're looking for your Bacchus, you're looking for your Sirens, you're looking for more Bacchus, I guess, looking for some Star Veils too, especially with the fact that Golbez was not kind in the beginning. You need money, and you are looking to make the most of this max tier 5.
The fetch quest continues for Kyrios. The rat tail leads into the pan, and now you gotta check more stuff.
Really?
Vitasia finding Octoman here in the first spot in Baron Inn. And Vitasia taking a different tack than Kryl, does have the Magma Key, but feels confident enough in his party that he's going to do all the overworld checks he can before diving into that underworld.
With that rat tail pickup especially, I do kind of agree with Vitasia on this aspect, because of the fact that that is Sirens and Star Veils too. I was talking about them, and there they are. You have a lot of power, yes, like you have an immense amount of power in this team, but you don't have enough to handle any of the underground checks right now. So you're going to have to be coming up and doing the stuff in the overworld. So you have to go and you have to get that done. And you might as well get it done first, so that when you go underground, you can kind of just a clean swath and just cut your way through the underground checks. Vicurios gets himself yet another key. That is a tower key that was picked up from the pan box. So, bunch of goodies.
Does that make a double dip of the tower required? Curios is gonna find out, and so Nightdew has the chance here to take a different path. Nightdew behind Curios right now, and Curios needs to win to keep New Moon in this competition.
I agree with the checking of the tower key, especially because it's tough. I would probably have left a save right here and then gone up check Sheila, because if Sheila is exactly Baron key, you jump on that. If she is not, you then take the reset and come back here, because there's nothing like I wouldn't even take a pink tail at this point. Like I don't care about that other adamant. You just want to get your stuff and go.
That's a sparkle Ogopogo. Wyvern here could have been really scary. And we haven't seen Wyvern on the bottom side yet.
With how fast your characters are, it's not even that bad. You could just kind of go and bop him before he gets off his whatever with the Witchburn today, so it's not the worst. But yeah, those waves, thankfully there's enough HP, because that's the scary part about that spot right there.
Yeah, the scary part is that your characters aren't at max HP because you've just taken a walk through the Sylph Cave. And a couple characters didn't make it, but enough characters have enough HP. Curios, one swing, Ogopogo is now Sushi, and Nightdew on his way to do the same thing.
Yeah, but the question is, how much HP does Nightdew have on his characters? He hasn't healed up in a little bit, so this can be very scary, especially after just also going through the Fey March.
Yeah.
And you know what? Look, Nightdew, stop listening in. Like, but yeah, we do have a bit of a reprise as well of the Feymarch bosses. I also didn't get a check of them, but we do have Bahamut Asura again. So we have one seed bleeding slowly into the other. The Matrix is real, everybody.
Yeah, is this what Tenet was about? I feel like that the movie tried to do something like that. Bacchus and life potions available for Vitasia in Tomra.
That's the path. Oh. You missed Hunt now, fellas.
Well, Sheila still could have the goods.
That's true. Sheila does still have the goods, but we could possibly be on a demon. Fine, we're possibly on a demon's hunt. Let me have my dream of Jank, okay?
Yes. Oh, that would be fantastic. And if Sheila 2 is the package, oh my goodness.
Sheila 2 package, and that's where our alt gauntlet is.
Yeah. Oh boy. I mean, if Sheila 2 is the package, you kind of have to check that right away, don't you?
Yeah, you definitely do. So we're gonna have, because you at this point it's but instead she does give the Baron key, so that does mean that Kyrios is in fact in go mode, because he knows where Golbez is, and he does have his Baron key now, so he can go take care of the basement and just be out of it. Kyriel though gets a nice pickup. We do have Twin Harp in Antlion Cave.
Yeah, Kryl getting a nice Twin Harp out of that, and Nightdew about to get his pass.
The really interesting thing...
was a couple seconds behind. Curios has opened up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to kind of depend on how the rest of this goes and how we finish it off. If we look, it could possibly be the fact that we have Baron Basement could also be a dirty double in the sense of that could be where our alt gauntlet is hiding.
Yeah.
Also, to appease and ease our restreamer's mind, yes, everything is fine. Nothing is on fire anymore, supposedly, except for that Rubicante that we have in Batasia's side. He's taking on Bahamut, though. Says, you know what? Nah, let's go, fam.
Yeah. Could also be elements in that king spot, but Vatasia knows that Bahamut only does one thing, and if you have enough Star Veils, you can take this even at 1 HP, even at low levels. But we'll see if that Star Veil hangs on long enough.
Yeah, if we had Star Veils and some Bacchus wines, I 100% think this is doable a little bit easier. Although this is a really fast Bahamut. That was those ticks came out really quick.
Sheila on Kryle's side, giving us her laundry, just a power shirt.
It has been so long. We are back and we are seeing the Leviathan. Oh no, sorry, the Mylon Z that originally gave us way back an hour and 17 minutes ago to all four runners, and then Nightdew and Kyros get their revenge and say, "Thanks for the Artemis bow, but we're just gonna put you down, buddy."
Kyrios making a very interesting play here, going to do the Baron basement in between the two bosses in Baron. This is going to be the elements, and this is not going to be required.
It is required because this is what you want. You want the Baron Castle basement. So this is what you want.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, you are looking for this, and this is exactly what's necessary. But yeah. We do see Cecil swinging away. We are going to get Ruby, but when we do get Edge getting to swing with that Ice Claw that we just have, this is going to be kind of all over but the crying when we get a couple of swings from Edge here. Yeah, watch one swing, one tap. Edge was like, "Hey, you know that thing you did to the D-Lunars? Let me show you how it's done against Ruby."
Yeah, does get a pink tail. Might be a little late. And Vitasia did have those Star Veils fall off. Kane avoided the Mega Nuke, but didn't really have a way to keep on going with that fight and resets out.
Yeah, getting more Star Veils. I agree with this. Just Star Veil up, let it happen that way, and get it knocked out. Because if you can get this done, especially if this is a cheeky bonus item, this is going to be really big for Vitasia and just getting like this peace of mind. But again, Nightdew following Kyrios' footsteps, going to the basement, coming back up, and here's your other dirty double. Demas is hanging out here on the throne.
But what could Demas have at this point that Kyrios would want to check?
Nothing really. Like the only thing it'd be would be package holding your alt gauntlet. That's about it.
Yeah, and that is certainly not worth it.
Just throws and says, "No, get out. I'm done."
I do not want to deal with your phase-changing ways right now. Get out of here. And the Mistocracy is toppled.
It was such an opportunity, but it was thwarted with one swing of a... No, Rydia, stop. No, stop trying to make Bahamut a thing. It's not a thing.
2 Bahamut orbs for 2 Rydias.
Yeah, with Kyrios getting that done, that is objectives 5 for both Kyrios and Nightdew.
Yeah.
Big here, and it looks like Kyrios. So I'm gonna look to see what time Kyrios has his gets his key item versus Nightdew's, and we're gonna see just how much of a difference between these runners, and then what the final times are, because this is spicy close between the two.
Yeah, and see, we've talked about going through seeds and just kind of letting things slip with how much information you're getting. Do they each remember that Golbez is on that hook route?
Very true. Also, Nightdew having the same thought, just yeet and forget kind of thing. So we're both runners saying, no, we don't want any of this. Mercurial doing an interesting thing. It gets underground. We have Palom, we have Porum and Double Cane, and we are getting a couple of eggs hatched here. I agree with this. Get a couple levels, get Palom to Quake and to anything else, and you really don't have anything to fear. Vitasia invests a lot. Only quote a Soma drop. Could be beneficial if we find a Fusoya. Could be just beneficial to have to give Kane some MP, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Do it for Kane. But yeah, the EXP I guess is beneficial, but yeah, that is a lot of resources to expend.
I'm okay with the experience if we had 5 party members, but because we only have 4, I'm a little more against it. I do like the idea of it. So we are about a minute and 12 seconds difference. So it was 2018 versus 21:30 there. So about a minute 12 bit of differences.
Well, they team up at the end of Final Fantasy for Vanilla, and in the Eblan Cave here, it's Fusoya versus Golbez. And Naitu going to get that second adamant armor.
We're gonna see if that makes it the time. Could be big.
Yeah, I mean, it is such a great piece of equipment. Is it going to save a turn on Zeromus or somewhere else? Is it going to make up that time? Because we're getting down to it now.
I think the only way it saves Nightdew is if both Nightdew and Curios have a really bad wombo combo of Z, and it saves Nightdew's Cecil that he just tossed it on, so where he takes a low roll and can just finish out a fight with a grind out adamant armor crystal sword swing or two. That's kind of about the only place I could see it saving him anything, but it's going to be close. But we're going to, again, about a minute between.
Yeah. Cryo going to take on Dwarf Castle now. And Curios and Nightdew coming right down to the wire. You know what would be really fantastic is all Gauntlet right here.
Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately, unfortunately is just Odin, so we will have to do our wonderful, wonderful Golbez that is behind this. We can't just kind of look at Golbez and say, peace, late. Unfortunately, we are going to be not going to... Edge, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Edge. It's not worth it. Don't do the quad nines again. And then you get a chance. This is like, no, this is my show. Get out of here. I may not be the hero. This is still my show.
Yep. So Odin down, Golbez up next. Should not be an issue with these levels. Although,
also, yeah. I just realized something. Yeah, definitely not an issue with these levels. Another thing I just realized: Kryl is fighting King Queen Eblan in the first spot of Dwarf again. There again.
Well, we know it can't be Kainatsu in the second spot here, so that's...
No, we don't. Oh, yeah, that's right. Kainatsu was elsewhere. You're right.
Yep.
It's first.
Mom in the second spot here is super annoying.
Is it Cecil again? Oh, my lord, it's Cecil again!
Oh, boy. And yeah, I don't even know if they know how similar it is.
You know what? Yeah, Kryl and Vitasia did not get this far into their other seed. By now, they only got about 20 minutes in before they had to do the reset. But yeah, this is just entertaining. Yeah, Cecil and Edge, probably the two you really want to have left up, because Cecil's just gonna take a Bacchus wine and say, "Hey, I heard you were weak to holy weapons. Let me introduce you to the crystal sword."
Look, fam, I got to do this.
Yeah, this is not going to be a good time. I did not see what Vitasia got out of that trap chest, but that another one side by side with these mute daggers, always good. Moonveil out of the first trap chest. Again, the seeds are bleeding together. I can see the lines in the matrix.
Well, Curios forces Golbez to ask the question.
And Kiryol gets through that fight very handedly, not just because we see the hand crawling up, but because I kind of blinked and the fight was done.
Yeah.
That was,
Bomb can be
well
annoying
done.
in that spot, but Kryl
Absolutely.
just melted it.
So that is Golbez defeated. That is Curios finishing off here. That is our crystal. We are going to raise the Falcon because you have no choice.
And Curios is going to dive down that pitfall like a slide. Just go, whee!
Legend sword that we have from the second check. So we do have Luca Cave bringing out the legend sword. Did not see what was the latest in dwarven fashion though. I don't see another key item lit up, so I don't think was it maybe a pink tail.
Oh, was it? I did not see it either, but that would be huge for Kryl if he has both tails. Still no hook to do anything with.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, it was a Baron key, actually. Ooh. So that is still really good. It's not one of the objectives like it was in the bottom half of the race, but it is still really, really big. So we do have Kyrios coming out of the underground at 26:48 is when he officially regains control. So we're going to see where Nightdew is right behind him. Does get Golbez done. Crystal in hand. This is a nail biter of a race.
It sure is, and with the pass, they're going to go right there. And to remind you of the stakes, Kyrios needs to win this to keep New Moon in this tournament. If Nightdew wins, if Nightdew comes from behind, this will be a bold strategy in the finals. So Kyrios going to turn in his pink tail, wants another adamant armor.
Yep, so we have both runners turning in the pink tail. That is going to bring Nightdew a little bit more time back, meaning that both runners have done this as well. But that is, I don't know if it's going to be enough, because I think Nightdew's bled a slight bit more time, because I said, 26:40? 26:48? So we're roughly about a minute. Oh, actually, no, they're keeping about the same time then, because Nightdew was about a minute 12 away. So 27, so we what, 27... even 27:10, I think, and make it so they're still 10 seconds apart. Yeah, regardless, they're still about the minute apart, the minute-ish apart. Who it is, yeah, it's, you're running down for the pass. This is, but again, now that time is just bled back, and actually Vitasia has clawed back some time, because it was, again, about a minute apart, but with Kyrios going in and turning in the adamant, yeah, this is a lot more even than I was thinking.
Yeah, this is a nail biter, and we are going to Zeromus. So in the Moonveil Mixer, we still got to fight the big bad guy at the end. Can't move him around, but we are going to see what he's dressed up as today.
Indeed, it has been a little bit. I haven't seen one in this week yet, because I had to roll a potion party, which I was very much here for. But again, Zeromus, as we get the flags out in chat, get them out here so that we can see what of two different sprites we get to see tonight. This is everyone. You guys are spoiled tonight. Not just one Z sprite. We have two of them we get to show off tonight. So, in the immortal words of our wonderful restreamer who got to help do all this thing, there are a lot of questions I'd like to ask, but my favorite one is from her. Something but.
18 seconds apart entering the Zeromus fight. Kyrios is the first to toss the crystal slightly ahead, but it is virtually even.
We get the form shift at 40. Hello, Thanos. 29:40 is the time when we do get the form change. The 29:40 verse is...
What did it cost him?
58. Ooh, we are 18 seconds apart. Whew.
I wonder if Thanos was the one that corrupted Vitasia, and caused Thanos caused the deeds to increase by 100%. So not usually Thanos's MO.
Kyrios just kind of lets his Yang take that counter nuke and says, "Is that the best you got, my dude?" So question in chat: Cecil missing? Yes, unfortunately, Cecil is going fast enough that he is ahead, where his first hit triggered before the actual form change of Thanos Mist appeared on screen. So he was technically hitting the previous form of Zeromus, which is still there but not hittable. It's very weird. It's very odd. Trust me. Shenanigans and coding. That's all you really got to know about this. But this is the damage coming out fast here for both teams.
Yeah. A little bit of an unfortunate target for on Palom for Nightdew's side. But
Palom's not doing anything.
Yeah. Palom did one thing, and that is all that he needed to do.
Yeah, for both teams, Palom is 100% not required in either of these fights. He doesn't have. I don't think he has a nuke, so he's just. We're not doing anything with him. The poor boy is going to sleep, and that is about it. Meanwhile, we are going to actually have Vitasia serenade us with some music while we have Kyrios and Nightdew go through these dueling Zeromus fights.
The Zeromus fight might not last that long for Vitasia to walk and for Eddie to make the long walk to the harp. They are putting up boffo numbers.
So speaking of that that Kane is putting up 3,200 to Yang's 1,000. A couple of attack, or 2,000. 1,000 damage is very, very big when we're 10 seconds apart. Yes. We could, in fact, have that damage be enough to bring it back home. Because, again, depending on how the attack rolls go, this is work.
The same time.
Synchro Medio. Okay, so...
It is too close to call.
Kyrios does it.
Kyrios has done it.
Very clean ahead of time. There is going to be no need for a retime with the way that is going. That is so close, though. Official time, 1:32:27. GG's Kyrios. Get it out in chat. Nightdew right behind him. Time 1:32:41. Not even like 20, not even 20 seconds between the two of them. GG's to both runners. We're gonna see if we get one of them or both of them. I don't care which. I'm hyped. I'm hyped here. And we're gonna talk about the music, and I apologize.
And with Kyrios' win, that means Vitasia versus Kryol, winner take all for the finals.
And it looks like we have Nightdew in first. GG. Oh, no, we have both of our runners today. Gentlemen, GG's on a very tightly run race.
And, the little things made the difference here. Feeling pretty good, right? When you're typing out your .done, you just see the next one come out, and you're like, wait, what just happened there? So, GG Kyrios.
So before we start getting into some questions, I do want to let you guys know what's going on. I assume you guys may have been updated, but just to let you and to remind everybody on stream, you are seeing extremely different seeds right now in the sense of top versus bottom. Vitasia had a crash of his emulator, would not let him reload up his seed for about 15 to 20 minutes. So they're running a completely different new seed, but their seed is Porum, not Palom. So we have a twin cast of twins, which is very entertaining, both sides. Just to keep everybody up to date, and Kirill did accept a re-race, which was very good sportsman of him. But let's start getting into this side here. You got Palom, you got a Kane start, and you have Rosa sitting in Baron Inn, hiding behind some bosses. Let's start with Kyrios and then Nightdew answering. Kyrios, what was your plan of attack for the seed?
And go ahead, Nightdew, because Kyrios is trying to connect.
Okay, sorry, Nightdew first.
So the plan of attack kind of changed with the starting item. The starting item was an arty bow, and I wish I had checked the ammo, because both characters actually rolled I believe it was charm and mute arrows. The original plan kind of went out the window when Sid has an arty bow and is just ready to actually just do things immediately. And then I kind of like the whole shop checks, because that early heroine rogue showed up in Mist Village. So I'm like, okay, well, I just need somebody to actually fire this. And after Rosa showed up, and it was just kind of really downhill from there.
Yeah, having Sid with that arty bow early on, he was just doing wild damage, which was great. Question, was there ever a chance of you keeping that Sid and just letting him just swing those arrows for the entirety of the seed? Or how soon was it that you decided, nah, he's gone, I'm going to keep this Palom instead, for example?
Palom was the hero, so we had to keep him.
Right.
But no, that was the idea, actually, until the heroine rogue dropped. And I'm like, okay, Sid's pretty good at arrow slinging, but Rose is better at arrow slinging and can self-circ and do all that kind of stuff, especially because we didn't have Bacchus until the moon. So just being able to kind of boot that up real fast definitely kind of influenced my decision on that one.
And Kyrios, do we have you?
You do. Sorry about that.
It's all good. So let's look at the beginning of the seed again. Your start with the Talon and the Cid and an Artie bow. What was your plan of attack on the seed?
I mean, that kind of takes looting out of the question for the most part, right? You just find arrows and go. And you started with arrows, but you can always find better arrows. Yeah, sorry. From there, it was pretty standard, like overworld checks. I feel like it felt like the seed wanted to be open and it gave you a lot of things to do, but it kind of funneled you down by the 45 minute mark. So it was make the checks, do what you can. I think there was some interesting value around the trap chests. I talked to Naitu, I guess we both found the adamant, so thankfully there was no divergence there, but I could see very realistic routes where you take some trap chests, you don't take others. I mean, it was that kind of seed.
Yeah, very much so. Both of you did take a little bit of a different route in the early game, but especially with that long chain at the end, the seed did kind of funnel you. Both of you made very smooth progress throughout the seed. Did you feel like you were in the lead at all times? It seemed very smooth.
I mean, I felt like I was playing well, but I was telling Naitu, I went back, I looked at our asyncs from this tournament season, and literally half of them were within 90 seconds of each other. So even if I didn't already know he was a great runner, that tends to happen. I was a little worried about the evil wall fade, but I thought it was a little too slow at that point. And then I was obviously worried when after the moon, it was pretty haunted. So at that point, you actually have a pretty good chance of it being the evil wall. But I felt like I played pretty well. The mistakes were relatively minor. And at that point, it's just execute the rest of the seed, hope that Gauntlet's not hiding somewhere, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And about the only thing I can remember, and you saw me finally just, the light bulb finally came on during the Z fight, was I had actually put Edge, who had the adamant at that point, in the back row for the evil wall fight. And he did fine, but I'm just shaking my head during most of the seed. I'm like, why are these damage values so wildly varying? Until I'm thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, I never actually did find means of actually back rowing this Edge. But I put him in the back row for the evil wall because, even at front there, he can kind of punch somebody up front. So yeah, it was interesting that I kind of waited that long. And you know what? That might be, 14 seconds worth of difference there. I could see both of them, like at both points where we went and got the adamants. I got it before the underground. I kind of caught a little bit of that. He did after. Yeah, just so many little micro things that could have went either way. But I mean, I'm like you said, we've been finishing so close that this could have went either way, and I was 14 seconds slow this time.
I will say this, you actually should be very proud, because going into that Golbez fight and everything after that, you were actually a minute 12 behind, so you made up almost a full minute going from defeating Golbez to inside the Zoromas fight. It went from there is a minute difference to barely 20 seconds, so you definitely made up any time that you could have lost. We weren't sure for a while, then I started keeping track because it was just watching you guys almost in lockstep at some points at the end.
Hey, the only thing during the Z fight is I'm thinking, okay, I was not counting damage. I saw the shake. I'm like, I should probably nerf this. I queue up the slow. I see Meteor, and I'm like, oh, there goes 10 seconds. Especially then I see the dot done. I'm like, oh, there goes the tie.
You know what? With the way the rest of this restream went, I mean this with the nicest possible way that I can, Naitu. Thank you for casting slow, so we don't have to worry about that.
All right. Well, with your win, Kyrios, that means that Vitasia versus Kryl determines who's going to go to the finals. So, why are you confident in Kryl?
I mean, Kryl's been running great races. Vitasia is also a great racer. Again, I was talking to my team. Vitasia actually probably came closest of anyone to knocking me out of CZ5. We were within about a minute of each other in best of one, and he can, when he's going at his best, he can beat anyone. So it's going to be a really good race to watch. I don't know if it's better or worse that we get to watch this much of it, rather than just kind of knowing the end, but right. It's going to be fun.
And Naitu, why is Vitasia going to win?
Curios has, I mean, I know a little less about Cryle, but I mean, Vatasia has actually been just killing it these last few weeks here. So, yeah, I hate to put the, don't want to put the pressure on or anything there as I'm kind of watching this happen here. But yeah, I mean, he's just been doing so great here, and actually looks like looks like Cryle's a little bit of a lead here. But yeah, in terms of it, I mean, yeah, I'm confident, in the whole team, and I mean, we've went 6 weeks without having lost yet, so maybe we can keep this going. But yeah, I mean, this is really anybody's race, and I mean, it's the playoffs, so I mean, you're going to have that competition here.
We had 2 teams that went 4-0 in mixers, and we're running some mixers. You're going to get good players running good races.
Yep.
And we had 2 fantastic runners run a fantastic race, and we're glad you're going to be joining us to see how Vatasia Cryle ends up. A little bit of kismet that you'll be able to join the audience for this one, I think. So GG's to both of you. Curios just edging out Night Dew, setting up a winner-take-all match between Vatasia and Cryle, and GG's once again.
Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You guys as well. That was Curios and Night Dew, your first and second place winners of the original seed with 132-27, 132-41. GG's to the 2 of them. Really, really closely done race. And exactly what you're kind of hoping for in a semifinals like this. Like, maybe not like this, but you're kind of hoping for nice close races.
Well, to give a quick recap, Vatasia and Cryle running a different seed than Night Dew and Curios started a little bit late because of Vatasia's technical issues. Cryle accepted a reroll, so we have that reroll. We started with a Darkness Crystal and a Forum Hero, and it's been pedal to the metal ever since. And Cryle finding an alt gauntlet in Cave Bahamut.
Yeah, so we have the 2 boss hunts that we're really looking for off the table and in very open areas. We had the Golbez sitting on Mount Ordeals, which both runners had gone through, not only because of the fact that we found Cecil, but just because it's a great set for looking for bosses. And then now here at Cave Bahamut, which is a little scary when we get to the when we get access to those behemoths, but it could be worse. It could be the red dragon blue dragon fight. That's way scarier in my personal opinion, but the behemoth fight is just so slow. But with the HP that we have here on these characters, nothing really to worry about.
And so while Vatasia is making the walk and Cryle getting through his gauntlet, do want to thank once again for her tireless and terrific work, our restreamer Asuka, and our trackers for both doing well and hanging in there, Soft Numb and Scarcerer. Scarcerer did point out in chat one key piece of divergence between Vatasia and Cryle is that Vatasia kept Green Cane and Cryle kept Red Cane.
Yeah, and and again, big shout outs to behind the scenes Scala for helping Asuka and helping us just all get through this. And while Asuka's trying to get her side going on, we have Scala doing back end stuff and making sure everything's all set up so we can have both races go up as seamlessly as possible through the transition. That was more painful than we were expecting, but you know what? It went out fantastically, and again, GG's to Scala for the big step-ups with doing so. Speaking of big step-ups, this is a wall that's not going to last very long, and it's going to get knocked down pretty quickly.
Yeah, this wall will come tumbling down, and Vatasia will blast the John Mellencamp, I'm sure, to make that happen. That Cecil is online, but Cryle, with that grind, that egg grind, taking care of this gauntlet, and really has much more levels. So we'll see if Vatasia can catch up here.
Yeah, Kryl did the grind front loaded, which I kind of agree with as early as it was, and the team you had, because this is the team you're taking to Zeromus. Like, aside from finding an edge here for this Palom, just so you can go like pure kind of Zerker strats, you're not taking anybody else at this point. Like, this is a team that is very acceptable. You got your hybrid strats, and it's going to be just fine. But with Edge and some okay gear, I don't think we found anything really specifically for him, but that would be kind of like my only want to pivot, really.
Mm-hmm. And Baron today for Fantasia is a constitutional Mylana key. Not anymore.
Yep, poor Mylon, he's out of it. Kryl, I think this is encounter 4, because I think the last encounter is the poor behemoth that is not going to be enjoyed.
Nope.
Hey, look, Vanilla Sid.
Well, it's good to know. The vanilla kind of goes as well.
Hey, again, seeds bleeding through, vanilla bleeding through. It's how it goes here.
Yep. Oh, the power of love saves us from the walls closing in.
I have seen that exact same pairing of sprites, by the way. The power of love with the one woman just looking away, going, I can't. I gotta give you guys some privacy.
Yeah, well, not everybody can be Sid in that situation and just say, getting cozy.
Right.
Which is my favorite. That might be my favorite line in Final Fantasy IV. Sid saying, getting cozy. And Fantasia does get a piece of Hanzo's steel, doesn't have an edge to wield it, and will head down into the basement. There's something down there.
Yeah, the only way Fantasia kind of makes up some time later is if we get a smattering of key items real quick. Because he is at, or I guess it's one key item, because he's at 9? No, 8. He's at 8 key items, so we need 2 key items right now to get him to the 10. And that's where we're going to get like a little bit of parity, and we're going to make it easier to get the EXP given onto this team.
And the King Ryus were actually the last fight in Cape Bahamut. So
I swore that there was a behemoth fight. It must have been earlier on and I missed it.
And Fantasia finding Valvalis in the basement here. Not fun.
Especially when she decides she wants to focus fire down your Rosa.
Yeah. Now Fantasia, at least not yet, not taking Val out of tornado phase because physical attack can't get through to her.
Yeah, you're just gonna want to have Cecil keep healing him up, and let him do his. Oh no, he's berserk, so he's just. You know what? We're just gonna let the Excalibur or Crystal Sword just do its thing, because it's not a big deal.
And Kryl is through that all gauntlet with really a minimum of fuss.
Yeah, no characters go down. Can't argue with that. And this poor Cecil, man, just can't catch a break. Just always weak, just getting petrified. It's not a good sign, man. It's not good. We just Val, just be nice and go down, please.
Valvalis knows who the real menace is. Like she's not stupid.
It may not be an adamant crystal sword, but it's still an Excal at very least, so...
And Kryl going to comb the moon here. Now, needs a hook. And conquering the Ribbon Room is an objective. And yeah, that hook is hard required, so... Kryl might go straight to the Ribbon Room here and then check to see it, and if he gets a hook, he might be leaving.
Invitation getting through this Valvalis very readily, honestly. Like, yeah, character's a little weak, but again, that's what the spells are, like the weak spell is mostly doing.
Oh, that's required. Valvalis has the hook, and that's huge.
If we have this rat tail being a key item, you grind him immediately at this point.
Yes. Yes, that is 9 key items on Vatage's side.
Yeah, we're basically hoping that we have the hook, the rat tail turn into something, and then you get your pink tail turn in with the adamant armor, and yeah.
Oh, that is big.
Oh, and a big comment from Noob Tree in chat. If rat tail is vanilla, that's go mode for Vatasia. I didn't even think about that.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, this rat tail versus what Kirill finds down here is very, very much what is going to be big. Is Ribbon Room going to be hard required and have the adamant, or is rat tail going to be hard required and have adamant? It's Pan.
Ooh, go fetch.
Well, you have to. You gotta now. But that is 10 key items. That could be that's our siren grind right now. Like you just grind right now.
Yeah, and sirens are available in this seed. And so eggs, Vatasia cracked a couple, I believe. Not as much of an early grind as Kryl, but Vatasia knows where to grind and has 10 key items to do it.
Yeah, he's going to pick up a little bit of time back. Dark Elf, you were here in the other seed, my dude.
Right here. You know, when you find an office you like, you just don't want to leave it.
No kidding, right? You know, streamer Oscar is just like, I'm done with this. She's very much done. I'm gonna get an earful later. It's gonna be worth it. Some things don't have time for shuffle. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's good.
But Vatasia looks like he's going to launch that Falcon first before doing his grind.
You know what? I agree with this. Also, it was Scala that rolled this. So you know what, Scala, you're just doing your best to try and mimic Asuka's seeds. So
right. And you know, a couple things get lost in translation, so we couldn't have the exact same seed.
I'm gonna say lost in the panic of getting everything.
But yeah, that just as in the race on the bottom, that Holy Sword wielding Cecil is just tearing apart this Dark Elf.
And that's an edge. Oh, we have one piece of Hanzo. Ooh.
Yeah, that is a vanilla edge. That is a sparkle on the back end. I don't think we've seen Wyvern. I don't remember Wyvern.
I don't believe we've seen Wyvern either. I would take Edge, especially since we still have a grind ahead of us. Get rid of Palom. We're done with him now. You take that Edge and you go. Especially if you're getting XP, you have to. Well, not have to, but I think I would say it's good. He's good enough.
Well, Vitasia likes the team he has. Telling
Nothing wrong
Edge
with
to
that.
hit the bricks.
Hit rocks.
Kryl did pick up a package and a charm rod from the ribbon room. Neither especially useful.
Yeah, unfortunately, not that 10 key item still. And also, yeah, it's there's so much still within the seed left to go, and with with the CPU here, a little bit of HP, not fun. But you got 2 healers to get you through this, so this is really nothing to scoff at. Doing ye old Blink and Berserk strats. I'm a fan of this. But
Yeah.
it could, depending on how the rolls go, this could be very unfortunate.
Yeah, the blink is okay, but it only protects against 2 hits. And if you got a really speedy Cecil, specifically targeting that attacker, that blink could fall off.
Hey, look, are we going to see Wyvern?
A double sparkle.
Hey!
This is Wyvern.
Come on, let's see a
Vitasia,
jump
not
scare.
afraid.
Let's see a jump scare. Oh, only fire too.
And and the magic power at this spot, very pitiful.
Yeah, Cecil's like, excuse us, we have somewhere to go.
Fire the 2 and fire 2 stands for 2 digits of damage.
big comment from Scarcer and one of our trackers in chat. Glance Burn would have been very nuclear. I think Glance Still's works based off of magic accuracy, so I'm not sure. But if it's not and it's just a straight shot, gross.
What a hook route, though. Wyvern into Ogopogo.
No, thank you.
Well, you have to. Zathis, it's a requirement.
Not required. It's a This is a suggestion right now.
Yeah. You can keep on searching for that adamant, I suppose.
Yeah, this is shenanigans right here. This is. But yeah, you have more than enough power. It's like if we came here about 5 levels ago, this would have been a little scarier. But this isn't that bad. Kane's popping out some great damage with this gun here. We've got Rosagate up people with the heals. We've got Cecil doing the heavy lifting. Surprise.
And Kryl does get the big orb down. The time for blinking is through. Getting down to it, but has it well in hand.
Yeah, Cecil just has to get a hit through. It's all that really matters. Blink strategy working. Cecil picking the right targets more often than not. Just so Kryl's at 10 key items now.
And so Kryl has already done his grind. He needs nothing else.
Sadly, no Spoonward the Seed, as much as we all love him. But that is just, again, that's a spoon which, with that edge, would have been very nice, so he could throw it around. Odin sitting at the top of tower, which is a nice check. But yeah, with what we have left, we're not going to see that because we have Vitasia with 3 of 6 objectives done. And what do we have left? We have
4.
Oh, right, this is going to be 4. My bad.
Yeah.
It's like 4 of 6. So we have the Alt Gauntlet, which we know where that is, and then we have Ribbon Room, which is very, very doable. So Vitasia is in go mode.
He is. And will be grinding up. He doesn't know where the Alt Gauntlet is. I don't think. He does not. He's had access to the Darkness Crystal the entire game, and he did poke around, but I don't know if he's. Oh, he might have checked the blue robe. That there was a blue robe way early on, or that might have been Kryl.
I know Kryl did. I know Kryl did the moon first, while Vitasia was. Kryl did the moon tour, while Vitasia did running around on the Earth. I remember us talking about that about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, a half hour ago actually. But Vitasia having a much less less of a grind to do because of that 10 key items, very, very big, because that's going to pill a lot of the time that Kryl had on these moon checks, and just again not having to do as much.
Oh, Kryl gets an
forge,
and Kryl is the hook away from go mode.
That is very, very spicy. Where was the hook again?
In the basement against Valvalis.
Yeah, so has to cash in that Baron key, which I don't know how quickly Kryl's going to be doing that. No. It's going to be clearing out the moon entirely, though. So if we have, can't be anything here. Yeah. So no, that's it's got to be. Oh, they've done Twin Harp. Wow, I don't even know.
Yeah, this will be a little bit of a wasted check. It might even be. I don't think D-Mist has been found.
That is D-Mist was found in the other seed. It was on top of Baron Castle. I forgot. I don't think we found D-Mist yet. So,
and Vitasia going to make that pan check. He's done with his grind.
Oh yeah, definitely didn't need to do that many. But yeah, I hope Vitasia does top down just for shenanigans to keep it. Hey, look, D-Mist.
How about that?
We talk it. There it is.
Yeah. So that's another check that will pull Kryl away from where he needs to go.
Yeah, the rabbit holes are, I think, what's gonna end up sinking Kryle right now. He is in very much a commanding lead, in the sense that he has all these checks under his belt. It depends where Vitasia goes. If he's a top-down kind of player, he has a lead. If he does not go top-down and instead goes check straight to Ribbon Room and goes middle out, I think Vitasia has a way to give it back, so Kryle has a shot in this. But yeah, if there's an, it depends, and if Vitasia chases this party rock too, right? Like it's so hard right now.
Vitasia just picked up a shiny Earth Crystal. Going to complete the Sheila check here, definitely quicker. But you know, the Earth Crystal could be appealing. It's a key item check. It's 2 boss checks. It's more characters that you can say no to, but yeah, we'll see if Vitasia's tempted by that.
Yeah, that's the whole point now. It's, we know where the right path is to finish this as quickly as possible. I say right, but it's more like the fastest way to get through this.
Yeah.
But it's power shirt and crystal. You're happy with the power shirt. I'm not going to say no to that.
Crystal armor, if you need more wine or more hourglasses or something, you sell that.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and that's it.
But yeah, this is where runners could get rabbit holed really quickly. And if Vitasia takes his Earth Crystal, he's a little bit in the south of it, but it looks like he's like, you know what, no, we're good. Is running down towards that Lunar Whale, which we know is going to be the right play to find the current grow mode we know access to. Here, unfortunately, only, and I say only with brackets, with quotes, only gets an Artemis bow.
Very nice, but does have that D-Mist to check, and it looks like he's going to chase that.
Yeah, gonna check D-Mist. Gonna be.
Don't think
hopefully
I think he's leaving 1 check behind on the moon. Which we know that the Murasame altar doesn't lead to anything important.
So this is where we get some spice. Vitasia is right outside of the lunar palace. If he saved, okay, never mind. I was gonna say, if he saved here, went to check cave value, and if it was a boss that he didn't want, can just reset out. I agree with it, but this is gonna bleed a little bit of time and let Kirill get caught back up and get closer toward. And if this is a pasture, that's really big too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a tower key.
And will Kryle go fetch?
Oh, this is so big on both sides, right?
It is.
It's we haven't done tower, so that's 2 bosses, 2 key item checks.
Yeah.
Which Kryle doesn't really need key items aside from the pass and the hook. Sorry, still needs the hook. It's not gonna help here. But again, this is where it's like you're still working off information of your brain from the previous seed you had to go through. You're still in a bit of a panic mode because it's like you're an hour in and you still have so much open to you and so much you're still looking for. It's Kryle needs to take. If Kryle takes Baron, then it's a lot closer than it looks.
And not to mention that this is a huge match, and I don't know how much these runners know about the other match, but it all comes down to this, to win for their team and advance to the finals. So a lot of pressure to make the right decisions, and I think if a chain is being offered to you, it's certainly a valid possibility to go chase that, because you're kind of pot committed at that point.
Yeah, and again, it's when you're looking at a lot of these checks, it's like, what is the problem that you're looking at here? It's like, again, we know what's going on, and we can see it's like, okay, this is where you need to go here, 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 and here. But with the runners, it's like I have 5 different checks open. It's like you could do giant for boss hunts. You could do, like, if this was like, say, both bosses were missing, you have giant for your 2 boss hunts. You have these hook locations for your boss hunts. You have these tower locations for your boss hunts. You have Baron for your boss hunts. And you have 1 of 3 shots of maybe finding 2 or 1 of the 2 bosses, and it's The problem is it's so much choice and you're not sure which one is better. And you say, oh, well, this one might be wrong. And then it turns out to be the right one. Like, Giant could have both bosses, which we know it doesn't, but that is as is hypothetical. And you leave that for last, and then look, here's a hard required Giant.
As you might expect from two teams in the semifinals, these runners have really both had terrific tournaments. Kryl 5-1 so far in the tournament. Vitasia 4-2. So we knew it was going to come down to a close one, and it's looking that way.
Very much so. And this is really going to depend on what Vitasia does and where he goes, because if he clears the rest of the LST before he sees Cave Bahamut, this is going to give Kryl a big step back into this race. Because I foresee, yep, nice and quick.
It's not quick though. It's much slower than most other bosses you could find here. Because Anna has to give her a speech, and bosses here have 1,000 HP.
Yeah, it's again the quick hits, and yeah, but the question is what Vitasia does here. Like, this is if he goes down, like, so him coming here actually with Masamune having Adamant Rock, as Chat's pointing out, and I kind of blanked on him going straight down to the Ribbon Room into Masa is very good in the fact that he doesn't have to worry about that alt gauntlet. He is short the XP from it, so Palom and Porum are going to be a little low on HP, a little bit low on, I think they may get their spells, but they may be just behind. But we got Cecil, we got Rosa, we got Kane, we got the trinity of damage is all we need, is the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what Porum's Super Smith is, I think it might be something Rosa can use too, isn't it?
More than likely, I believe. And Kryl walking back down the tower will see this Zonk.
Yeah, this is a very, very tight race, and it's it's so beautiful.
Vitasia going with plan Q against CPU does take down the attacker, so CPU will counter now with Globe 199, but it doesn't survive. Vitasia doing it well.
Plan Q, Zerk and go. It doesn't matter. Get him out of my screen.
And Kryl heading into the Fame Arch.
But Kryl does get the pass, so this is... Oh... That is very big for Kryl right now. Because if he goes... Even if he takes these Fame Arch bosses, knocks them out quick, and still goes to Baron, Vitasia has to do this fight, go, forge, come back, and... Oh, but then Kryl still has to do both the entirety of the Launch the Falcon and trade the Rat Tail.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a big thing too. I want to see the time difference in the end and see how close this comes, but
yeah, Vitasia certainly has the advantage right now. Kryl had the chance to save himself, we know, by pouncing on that Baron check. Instead, he's...
Oh yeah, Kryl doesn't have to launch because he still hasn't actually finished Forge yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so he turns in the Rat Tail. Okay, that's a lot less than I was expecting it to be. But yeah, these are some fights that are not long for these worlds anyways. Kane popping out 4K almost. Cecil obvious quad 9s because Mylon's at bye. Where can you miss it?
Mylon turned into Bylon very quickly.
And there's new gun Palom.
But that's nice for him. And so Vitasia getting the Adamant has to walk a little bit, but will probably go chase that and not...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is not going to find the
and all the Gauntleteers will just be sitting in Cave Bahamut, like, oh man, we were ready.
We have all this experience. He's got 10 key items. He could get so many levels. And just that Soma drop that Vitasia found earlier on in the seed.
Yeah, maybe Cryo will give Red Kane MP.
I hope so. Kane deserves MP. He does a lot of work, man.
It is hard work betraying all the time.
Sheep, I told you earlier, I'm not going to stand here for this Kane slander. Look at the work he's been doing in both seeds.
He has been actually doing a ton of work. And part of what drew Nightdew closer to Curios was Nightdew kept Kane and Curios kept Yang.
Yep, and Kane was popping up 1,500 damage more than what Yang was, and it's back and forth which character's better and how many levels and everything. But Kane getting even like a mid-tier spear, mid to high tier spear, he does good damage. Like everyone talks so bad about him. It's like he gains stat growth on parity of, and there's a white spear too. Like Zeus Gauntlet, white spear, sell the farm. And there's a Nirvana staff for you to pour him.
Yeah, Rosa could use it too.
Actually, so they were talking in chat. The only things that are shared are between Fu and Tella, not between Rosa. Yeah, she only gets Perseus' bow and arrows.
Okay.
I say only, but you know what I mean.
And Vitasia going to equip, unequip, make sure everybody is optimized. Cryo, meanwhile, going to forge before he leaves and get his
runners
as well.
Runners high-fiving as they wait. I was like, I'm going out. Yep. I'm going in. Don't worry, it's a Nirvana staff. Perfect. Awesome. I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
See you at Zoromas. Yeah, Kryl with that pass in hand. It's depending on how he takes the Baron fights is where the seed's really gonna change out.
Yeah, might be too late at this point, but Kryl needs to go straight to Baron, or hope for a wipe from Vitasia, I think.
Yeah, and again, with the HP that Vitasia has on his characters, I don't think Kryl's going to see... Like, again, I say it, I've seen Zoromas say, hi, I'd like to introduce you to Big Bang Media Wombo Combo Sit Down. But yeah, it's... With the HP and the levels he has on on Rosa and Cecil, it's enough. He doesn't have to worry. It's going to be, quote, okay.
Yeah.
However,
never free. Never a sure thing.
Never free, just less panicky.
Kryl in the waterway now, and as Vitasia starts the long walk, passing all of the different landscapes of the moon.
Yeah, this at this point with Vitasia, we're an hour 22 into the seed, which is for Moonveil Mixer is roughly about what our average times are, in between like an hour 20 to an hour 45 for most races. So Vitasia's got to be feeling fairly confident, but at the same token, the panic has to be setting in very soon.
Yeah, and Vitasia has had a terrific tournament, but if you don't start feeling a little panicky as you're making this walk, I don't know yet.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see the walk versus everything else. Kryl is still behind in this aspect because Vitasia is running straight to Zoromas. But if Kryl goes to Valvalis now, which he is,
yeah,
it's a lot closer. But Kryl still has to finish off Baron regardless.
It either has to finish off Baron or walk it back out.
And I think it's roughly the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never known the difference. I know some runners prefer one or the other, but Yeah, Kryl will get that hook, but Vitasia just about to enter the Zeromus fight.
Yeah, and if this was said in chat by Night to one of our runners from the second half of the races, you see, it's very close, especially if you murk down the bosses nice and quick. And with the damage we have, yeah, it's gonna be quick, especially from these two bruisers. But speaking of from two, this is the round two of seeing what Zeromus is gonna look like. Sheep, would you do the honors this time?
I will. Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Absolutely. Zeromus, only one spot, but that doesn't change the fact that we change him. We just said, hey, we're going to give him some glow ups, some glow outs, and some glow downs, depending on how you want to look at these sprites. We make them look fantastic because our wonderful art dev, Skull Kitty, has done almost 600-ish sprites, as well as some from board and others beforehand. There is a very small chance that this is a dupe, and if it is, then I'm going to actually call shenanigans. But we're going to see Crystal thrown out 124.45. We're going to look and see what the true colors really are, as Kryl gets his hook and will be out shortly.
That is not a dupe.
That is not a dupe, but that is from Final Fantasy X-2 LeBlanc, one of your earlier villains that you face off. Great game.
And a fantastic sprite.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, Kryl is going to finish out Baron, and as Kyrios mentioned in chat, he is a unit of one behind.
That is not a small amount of a hit.
That is an unnerfed Big Bang.
Vitasia doesn't care. Look at the HP on Rosa. Just, I don't care. Just go. Just make it happen.
Yep, big swings from your beefy boys.
I don't even think a max roll Big Bang can kill Rosa at this point. I think it's close. I'm not sure if I can do 2400, but I'm pretty sure it's just Rosa goes. Rosa just go.
Yeah, and your damage dealers stay up, Rosa stays up, and Vitasia should have this right where he wants it.
Yeah, you're popping out, depending on how the rolls go, you're popping out 10,000 damage around. Zeromus has 64,000 health. It's not gonna... Zeromus, I'm sorry, my dude. You're not gonna hang around for very long. Oh, it's a shake. That's adorable. Heal up to full and let it happen again.
What are you gonna do? Shake at me?
I mean, LeBlanc does have something to shake here and there.
And that is not enough to take down that.
No.
She is a Swolza, is what she is.
Yeah, Rosa getting the party healed up. This is literally all done, but
Vitasia has done it.
Crying. GG, Vitasia. Official time of 127. 127.08, I'm going to say. But yeah, GG's to him. We are, in fact, joined by Vitasia. Welcome back, my friend.
I'm so sorry. I'm getting yelled at right now. How's everyone doing?
Well, we're here after a nail-biter of a game where you completely crashed out and came back to do a different scene altogether 20 minutes in. How you feeling, bud?
So I absolutely felt that I was pretty tilted actually to start that second seed because I felt horrible because I had just done updates on my computer yesterday, and so when it crashed to do updates tonight, I was like, "What are you doing?" So I felt horrible, and I was absolutely tilted to start the race. But I think as soon as I got that Palom, I kind of settled into a nice groove there. Having the curse string to anchor Porum so everything else could just go. And of course, Crystal Sword Adamant Cecil means everything just goes smooth from there. So.
Yeah, so we're looking into another seed. It is the other twin you get to start with, and you get to start with Kane as opposed to Sid this time. How are you feeling about the like after the tilt kind of wavels off? You actually went and found that Golbez really early. You did. You had Darkness Crystal, you had Magma Key really quick, and you just you went a very stereotypical route of overworld, underground, moon. What kind of drove you into that path of thinking, especially with sirens on the table so early?
So I never felt comfortable with my damage output up until I had Palom. So really the first part of the first third of it was just making sure that I was able to do things in kind of an appropriate way and just kind of slowly get the levels. As soon as I got Palom and was able to get Virus on him, you saw I immediately I got eggs to get Warp to kind of, make these efficiency checks. But I knew that I was not happy with party comp. I knew that kind of the efficient checks I could make right now. So I wanted to focus on the quick, efficient ones, including Bahamut in Fey March, which I took a nasty wipe too, but went back for it. I wish that would have paid out. But so really, it was more about like knowing what checks I could make efficiency. I could have dove Moon a little bit earlier and done a bunch of eggs, but I didn't have the gear to support that, I thought, early. So, as soon as I got Palom online, and then that led to Cecil, and everything kind of opened up from there.
Yeah, it sure did. And the big turning point in this was you finding the hook much earlier than Kryl did. Why did you check Baron at that time?
Well, it's my habit to always check Baron basement immediately after doing Baron, main throne. So I checked it, and it was doable relatively easily. So put a little bit of effort in there, and as soon as I saw that hook, I knew everything was kind of turning up roses. So immediately turned that in. I knew I could leverage Adamant Cecil at that point in time, plus go ahead and doing the Rat Tail turn in and the hook route. It was just, it was all downhill from there, really.
Well, Bolt's strategy is in the finals. You have clinched a final spot. How are you feeling about that?
I never thought that I would be in a 5-3 Enterprise finals. I think that's one of the nicest things about this particular tournament more than anything. I think it's getting a lot of runners who wouldn't normally be in a finals, quote unquote, into the finals. So it's a fantastic feeling to be there with the team, Dave, Night2, Nitsi, and really looking forward to seeing what we got against Team Wombat Milk. They are an absolutely stacked team, and I know that JMac is here at JohnCon with me, so we're the smack talking has already begun. I want you to know that it's already started.
But yeah, I was actually going to bring that up. Is like, I don't know if you had a chance to talk to Night2 about the Night2 versus Kyrios match, but you can kind of see it if you look at the stream right now. It's 20 seconds apart from the two of them, of Kyrios just beating Night2. So this was coming into the delayed race of you versus Kyrios, coming down to all of it. So did you have any, did you talk to Night2 about your post-race shenanigans at all? Or did you know going after you won that? I mean, not only the fact that you guys were already up one race, but it was literally lynching on your win here.
No. So one of the things that the admin team did for this race that I think is really clever was that we were in separate race rooms. So we did not have any meta knowledge about how the other race was going. And I think that's good because, if I knew the results or if Kryl knew the results, I think that could have impacted our routing, knowing that maybe we have to make a gamble or how something happened there. So I had no idea. I just kind of figured out after the race was finished, after I knew I won. So I knew we were secure one way or the other. It was just a matter of whether or not we swept. And I'm kind of glad that they set it up that way because otherwise it would have been kind of not easy to game the system, but it could have impacted things.
Absolutely. And you know what? It was great that it was done like this. It's very entertaining for semifinals. I'm going to tell everybody out there who is watching, who is any part of this tournament, don't make us do this again. Don't make us do this again, please. But yeah, GG's Vitasia. Any last things before we let you go back to the people and get your laudals?
No, just thank you to Oscar and Datha, Sheep Launcher, Scarcer, everyone who's behind the scenes. Thank you guys so much, and shout out to Kryle for agreeing for the reroll after the computer snafu. That's the I think it didn't. It's one of those things that I think that's nice about the free enterprise community. It would have been real easy to take the easy win, but in the name of sportsmanship, continuing on with that. And I guess one last shout out to all the JonCon attendees who, as soon as I knew the seat was over, I heard the explosions upstairs. So big shout out to all those guys.
All right, again, GG's Vitasia. Enjoy the rest of the JonCon weekend, and we will see you soon, hopefully.
All right, take care.
That was Vitasia, your first place finisher and winner on the top half of the side overall for Team Bold Strategy at 126.39. GG's out to him. And while we were finishing, 133.21, Kryle finished and beat LeBlancmas. GG's to him in several different ways. One, sticking out that race, could have FF'd immediately, did a very great job of sticking out the rest of the race, as well as being an incredibly fantastic sport for accepting a re-race. Could have very easily said, you know what, I'm taking this free, and just said, nope, this is my win, and just continued out the sportsmanship. Like, we love, obviously, wins are yes, but it's the sportsmanship like this is what we're really all here for, to let everybody have fun and let everybody enjoy themselves. It's in next time you think about this, you won't think about who really won. It'd be more like, this is what's going to be remembered, is that Kryle took that re-race and said, you know what, no, new room, let's go, let's make it happen, make it nice and even for everybody. And fantastically well done on both aspects.
Yeah, not only is Kryle a terrific runner that you saw, but he's a terrific person for really taking this in stride, allowing the re-roll to happen, and focusing on that. That's really terrific. It just speaks of volumes, and it, as you said, Dathis, that really is what the community is all about. Just competing and being there for each other. It really is fantastic.
Yeah, as we said, it's obviously you want to get your wins in, you want to get this, you want to see that happen, but it's, what is the cost of that if you take something where it's like, you know what, it's like sportsmanship again. We're here for fun at the end of the day. That's the name of the game. Actually, The name of the game is Free Enterprise, but I digress.
Yeah.
That, unfortunately, 2.5 hours later, as opposed to the hour and a half you see on stream, that is going to be it from us for not only tonight, but that is the entirety of this week's semifinals done. Again, Team New Moon takes it. Team Bold Strategy takes it over Team New Moon. Very well done races on all behalf. Please go back and rewatch all of them. We are going to get next week races up and shown to you as soon as we possibly can from the admins. You all will get your pings, and those of us in the Restream team, let's have this happen, and please do not make us have to stitch something like this together again. We don't want to do it. No, I don't. Poor Oscar. I'm going to get her a drink later. We're just gonna keep her sanity going, but we're also going to keep today going. What we are going to do is we're going to go and raid Slippery42, who is running the Seed of the Week. If you want to not be spoiled by it, don't watch. If you want to go cheer off and send some loves to Slippery, please do so. But the most love you really need to do is you do need to send off to our runners, Vitasia, Kryle, Nightdew, Curios. Great runners. Send them follows, likes, loves. See them when they stream. Great. As well as our... Go ahead.
Yeah, and our behind-the-scenes folks, Oscar and Scala Kitty for doing so much on the restream, Scarcerer and Softnum for tracking, also Dathis for being the great talking guy he is. And my name is Sheep Launcher, and from all of us, so long.
He's wonderful too.